Negotiating tool. This is one of my favorite subjects, and in previous courses what we've done is that we've learned about what you would never give away. One thing in my business and in my life that I wouldn't give away, because this is what I love the most. This is actually connecting with people, and connecting with people, you can call it negotiating, but for me, I don't need forms to fill in, and I certainly don't expect you to want to fill forms in either. But what I want to talk to you today about is the human factors, once again, the emotions that make us do what we do and make us have a skill to extract out of other people what it is we want them to do. So, one of the most important things we need to realize, first of all, is a deal, a negotiation for us means to be our customer, our client needs to get more out of this deal than we do. I know the classic one is win-win. It needs to be a win-win situation, and it does. Of course it does. It's not levied up or levied in our favor because we want to win the deal. We want to get more out of it than our client does. That's not how it works. The clients will always buy from you when they become understood. A very important line. The customer, the client will buy from you when they feel they are understood, not when they feel you are understood. So the biggest problem my competitors would probably say about me, they would say, the biggest issue is that I am winning more projects than I'm losing. If I'm put in front of the right client that wants my superpower, we have been matched correctly, then in those scenarios we are beginning the dance. We are beginning the dance, which is the negotiation. And I will get things out of my clients that my competitors won't, because I will start to go through these stages, which are here on our forms. So it's the client's ideal situation. Let's learn and let's reproduce the tools that we've learned in the previous examples. Send our client a year ahead. Ask our client what would be their ideal scenario out of this negotiating, out of this deal, out of this process. What would it look like for our client? So if we begin asking questions like that, you can see what we're doing here. We're beginning to genuinely want to know what it is the client wants out of this deal. And although it can maybe feel a little bit difficult for people in the beginning stages of this, just relax. Just do what we've done in the other parts of this course. Begin to ask the questions, set them at ease, begin to make them relax. They need to feel understood. You don't stand there talking at them. The ratio is 2 ears to 1 mouth, and that is the process that you continuously need to remember. Listen and listen and listen again, and when you pose the right questions, you will get the information out of the client. So if we're filling in the forms here, the first part of it, you can see their ideal situation. But don't forget, this is a negotiation. We're not giving the whole thing away. We need to then have our ideal situation. So when we go into the negotiation, when we go into the deal, maybe you're trying to close the deal. Be absolutely 100% sure of what it is the client wants, and don't forget, give them more. I think 60-40. Give them, give value again. Think about what you want, because you can't give the thing away. Or you can't promise things that you're not going to deliver. So put your ideal. So that's how we begin to go through the process. And these then, as you look at the forms, if you want to look at it from that way, you're looking at things nice to haves, must haves, things you want, things you can bend. This is all the science. Where I come from is from the emotion, or from the heart of where I am actually really genuinely interested in that client. I can show that I'm genuinely interested in that project, and that comes across. So it's about listening, it's about being understood. Can I just finish this negotiation tool? I will go into more depth about this in the mastermind courses, because I'm just skirting over the edges here. But one of the particular subjects, again, I go through how emotionally we work together. We work from the basis of the mind controlling us, looking out for danger. But remember, the situation is survive and thrive. Those are the instincts as humans that we will have. So we will naturally work as humans wanting to meet somebody else. Our first instincts that we are driving to is we are driving to our basic instincts of how we can survive and how we can thrive in this world. Obviously, we're no longer looking for where's our next meal coming from and where do we find shelter. We live in the Western world, and we're very lucky to be living in the Western world. So those emotions have gone, but the psyche, the mind is still working on that basis, and it works the same when we meet somebody. So if we meet somebody in a bar, in a cocktail party, if you ask that person, you meet them for the first time, we're negotiating, let's play a role here. We're negotiating, we meet that person for the first time, and we go up to them and we say, hi John, hi Jane, well, how are you doing? What are you doing here? What do you do for a living? If that person starts saying, oh, well, it's complicated, but I do a bit of this and I do a bit of that, my business is doing it. You see what we're doing here? We're switching off from this environment. The calories that our brain, our minds, our bodies are used to surviving and thriving will not be burnt up listening to things that we are not getting to the results. We're not getting the end results from. So this survive and thrive basic human technique is that you're wanting to deliver things to that person in a positive manner that they can see exactly what the end result is going to be. They can see how they're going to benefit from this end result, what they're going to get out of this end result, and it's going to be a good feeling for them. It's an emotional feeling. So if you have done the process right, you've done your introductions, you've got straight to the point, you have removed complexity out of your presentation. Complexity will destroy every situation, every negotiation from start to finish. You must keep things simple, and a scale of 1 to 10, you need to be in 1 to 2. If your complexities and your language is beginning to distance itself into the complexities and technical phrases, you've lost that person. You're at that cocktail party and he's starting to say it's complicated. You've switched off. You're out of there. Your survive and thrive basic techniques are clicking in, and you just want to get to the end. So simple things said in a nice, clear way that will shoot straight to the end result. You survive, thrive basic techniques. That is how negotiations work. Get that person on board. Get them feeling that you are genuinely interested in the end result. You are going to deliver and you care about the situation. You're not aloof. You are there to help and to deliver. And then you've got them on board, and then they will thrive. Patients never sue doctors that have spent more than 8 minutes in that situation because they have built a relationship. That's a technical detail. That is what happens. The doctor has built a relationship with a client, so the client won't sue those situations. They will sue those situations if they feel that doctor has been a little bit flippant, has not spent the time, has not tried to diagnose or find out what their real life is all about. They've lost them. This is negotiating. It's not really filling in forms. You have it here as a free download, but try and listen to the emotions of it, okay? So this has been a real interesting subject, my favorite subject of all. Negotiate well.